Welcome back. For Health Today, we have Dr. Steffen Bau, a pediatrician with over 12 years' experience in child health. We'll be discussing the general health and upkeep of toddlers, which is a topic of great importance to parents and caregivers, especially as some may be returning to school and playgroups as the new academic year starts. Toddlers are at a critical stage of development, and it is essential to ensure that they receive the proper care and attention to promote their growth and well-being. So if you're a parent or caregiver of a toddler or simply interested in learning more about child health, we've got you covered. Good evening, Dr. Bau. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening. Thank you, Nina, for having me.
Dr. Bau, talk to us about what some of the common health issues are that toddlers face.
So the toddler phase is essentially from 1 year on to about 3, depending on your definition. And most of these little ones are actually getting virus infections. So about 95% of all infections that these little ones are getting are typically viral, meaning caused by viruses, which antibiotics are actually quite useless for. Typical examples would be something like minor flus with runny noses, maybe a red ear, throat infections. However, sometimes these can get worse and then actually get into something serious like a pneumonia with respiratory distress, breathing difficulty, shortness of breath, blue lips, those type of things. So that is the one most common one. The other one is more in the gastrointestinal tract. So it is from the gut, from the mouth down to the end of the gut, and that's typically gastroenteritis. So it's usually also viral, unless one can see something like blood in the stools or so, or has high fevers. These are also usually virus. And then one other one that is fairly common in this age group as well would be croup. So this is also a virus infection that typically affects the area just under the vocal cords, and it gives one this barking cough, and if it's very severe, difficulty breathing, shortness of breath.
Mm-hmm. And what are some tips, Doctor, for promoting general health in toddlers, and how big a role do their eating habits play in this?
So generally, when toddlers get together, they do touch everything. They put everything in their mouth, so which makes it difficult to control germs going from one person to the other because they put the same toy in the mouth that the other child has had in the mouth before. However, there's a couple of simple things one can do is watch hygiene. So when we interact with the little ones, wash our hands, or if they've touched something really dirty, clean the hands and stuff so that, they don't grab into their diaper and then they grab the toy next. Skin care. Skin is our biggest organ in the body. It is the most protective organ in the body. And if we take good care of our skin, keep it clean, keep it free from infection, those type of things are helpful. Bath regularly, but if you have dry skin, rather bath not so often so that your skin doesn't dry out so much. And then the last one, obviously, is dental hygiene. That starts in this small age group where we actually start having teeth and when we need to start taking care of them. Try not to give a bottle of milk, for instance, to the kids when they're going to bed because they get what's called bottle teeth, very rotten teeth that actually need intervention.
Interesting. I think we need to have you back for a conversation just on that. But moving along, Doctor, what preventative measures should parents and caregivers then take as the little ones head back to their playgroups and kindergartens?
So preventative measures, let me quickly go back. You also asked about the eating habits. Generally, I'd always advocate a balanced diet. Everything a little bit, particularly fruit and vegetables, particularly green vegetables. They have lots of fiber. That is also a preventative measure for infection. It's preventative for constipation and other things. You might also have picky eaters where you can try certain things like getting those things in, like you can blend them, hide them. You can make ice lollies by freezing some of these blended foods, and the kid might like this and not know that what I'm eating actually is stuff that I would never touch. Or if the diet is very carbohydrate laden, like lots of potato and starch and these type of things, one could just add a simple spoon of olive oil just to give a bit of extra fiber. Even though the kid doesn't know it's in there, there is at least something good in there. Other preventative measures are one can give some probiotics, either commercially made or as yogurt or kefir, those type of things. Very effective are also vitamins when needed, and zinc. Zinc is quite good in preventing diarrheas and wounds, helps heal wounds, etc. as well. We do see sometimes that patients, little kids, get what's called crash syndrome. So they essentially come again and again every 2 weeks with another infection and another infection to the doctor again and again. And when you have a child that gets sick every 2 weeks, that does need to be seen by the doctor, because most of the time it's probably just a growing immune system that is fighting new bugs that we don't know yet. But sometimes there can be an underlying issue, such as an immunodeficiency or allergies, which I see very common, predisposing to infections.
Interesting. Doctor, you mentioned zinc and probiotics as part of, the health benefits to babies that we should give them, or toddlers rather. Are these also part of the routine medicines that you would recommend to boost overall immune health?
Yeah, so overall immune health can be boosted by, having kids exposed to good things. And some of the good things are like vitamins. It doesn't have to be preparations. It can be, as I said, vegetables and fruit. But vitamin preparations as well. There are a lot of these preparations out there. And to be honest, most of them taste rather disgusting. But there might be some or other way, some or other preparation that your particular child likes. There are also some herbal remedies. There is some people that use homeopathy. Some swear by it, others not. So some of these things have more and some of them have less evidence base behind them. One of the herbal remedies that I tend to use sometimes when a child is getting sick very often is Septogard. It's a kind of a plant extract. And it does help for these kids that get sick every 2 weeks fairly often as well. But there is no fixed and fast rule of what will work for your child and what will not. So I think a healthy lifestyle is still the best preparation.
Dr. Bau, just lastly, how often should toddlers go for checkups, and how important is it that they have up-to-date vaccines?
So that's controversial. The toddler checkup, most pediatricians will recommend to, after the first year of life, to see a pediatrician at least once a year. We have grown as a pediatric fraternity significantly in the last few years, but we're nowhere near to the amount of pediatricians per capita that South Africa has, or Europe, or America. So we struggle to see the sick ones if we see all the well ones. So my personal opinion is, if your child is doing exactly what every other child in this exact age group is doing, and there is no concerns, they look exactly the same, then probably they do not necessarily need a checkup, apart from dental checkups. So the teeth do need to be looked at once a year. There might be different opinions to say that we do need to see once a year. And yes, it's fine to pat the parent on the shoulder and say, you're doing good, but we need enough medical staff to be able to provide this care. And we'll see. Some people will rather see you once a year. Some people will not. Regarding the vaccines, so vaccines are protecting you kind of as a mugshot of a criminal. So your body has already seen the criminal and so can arrest immediately. Whereas if you don't know the criminal, you first have to start an investigation, takes a long time, and we are having a lot of damage in that time. So we are very lucky now that since August last year, we have a national immunization schedule, which actually unifies all the immunizations in the whole of Namibia. And it's been a few years of work, but it's through now. And we now, wherever you go in every health facility, you get the same vaccination. And these vaccinations prevent from very dangerous diseases, and they also prevent from passing on diseases to other people that might be more susceptible than you are. So you might not get sick, but somebody next to you might be dying from the same disease which he got from you. So the immunizations, they actually disrupt this infectious chain, and therefore it's not just a protection for yourself, but also from other people. So immunizations, for that reason, are quite important to protect society and also yourself from the really nasty versions, because nobody of us knows how this infection will affect us ourselves. We might get away with nothing, or we might get seriously sick or even die. And that's what the infection prevents.
Well, Dr. Bau, very insightful talking to you this evening. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Nina.
That was Dr. Steffen Bau, pediatrician, speaking to us about general toddler health, especially in view of the fact that they'll be going back to their playgroups and kindergartens as the 2024 academic year starts next week. We're almost at the end of tonight's program, but not